Every year, more than 3.6 million referrals are made to child protection agencies involving more than 6.6 million children. Although child abuse is a major problem around the world, there is a lack for the proper funding, preventative measures, and officials to end the problem. There have been steps taken to help slow the number of children not only being physically abused, but also sexually abused. These types of abuse are detrimental to the growth and development of children and have negative, lifelong effects on them. Abuse has serious impacts on children's mental and physical health. Abuse during childhood can cause a variety of short and long-term physical, emotional, and mental disorders. Child abuse is related to emotional problems such as depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, and behavioral problems such as bullying, tantrums, and delinquency. As stated by Masaku Okada, the disturbance in lifestyle habits and deterioration in mental health can occur shortly after abuse can be important predictors of the long-term effects of abuse on health and quality of life. The child protection system for abused children must therefore provide both protective and therapeutic services. Although help is provided for the children, the benefits of them are minimally due to the limited amount of therapeutic interventions and evidence-based practices remaining being scarce. Sleep plays a role in child development and is also directly related to maintain health and physical health. Sleep deprivation and sleep disorders are known to have an adverse impact on emotional learning and social function. Although doctors have found how abuse and sexual abuse affects children, they have yet to figure out why so many children are still being abused and sexually abused today. To find the situational perspective involves a fundamental and surprisingly difficult shift in focus from the child sex offender to the child sex offense. This is used to question how, when, where, and why these offenses take place. This shift in focus applies to child abuse also. This shift in focus entails the movement of creating safe individuals to creating safe environments. There are stereotypes that surround the idea of who can be categorized as a child predator. For example, most people think an old man in a white van luring kids with candy is an example. Although this is a common thought, it is primarily incorrect. As stated by Derek Cornish, this details the varied locations within which offenders search for suitable victims, the strategies for gaining access to children that offenders use, the place where such offenses commonly take place, and the methods used to gain time alone with the potential victims. Author Derek Cornish conducted crime prevention studies and found that there is no one specific profile for a child predator. Instead, however, he created a way to categorize people to tell if they are child predators or not. By doing so, he helped officers and officials catch and stop child predators before they had a chance to abuse a child. The process of protecting children is very expensive, and right now, cost relies mostly on donations. However, with the number of children that are being abused, there is simply not enough money to protect every child. Author Jim Hermovitz proposes, our failure as a nation to implement effective policies and strategies to prevent child abuse and neglect costs taxpayers $104 billion per year and does not consider the personal toll on the victimized children. This not only brings light to the cost of protective services, but also how a little could go a long way in helping a huge cause. Child abuse is a significant problem that affects not only child victims, but also their families and communities. Research has established that parents are most frequent sources of information for child abuse and prevention. Authors Robin Hunt and Karen Walsh studied parents' thoughts on how children should be educated on child abuse. They released the following statement. Literature on parent attitudes towards CSAPE, which is child abuse protective causes, falls into two groups: parents' attitudes toward provision of CSAPE in schools/centers, and their attitudes towards their own adoption of CSAPE with their children. In their findings, Hunt and Walsh found that parents did want their children to be taught about child abuse, but they were not sure if they wanted to teach them themselves or somebody else teach them. Child abuse and sexual abuse is a growing epidemic around the world. There are now major groups, organizations, and properly educated officials who have dedicated their life to help save the children who have been affected and help prevent others from the harm. The steps that have been taken against child abuse and sexual abuse have aided in slowing the problem, but a full solution has not yet been found. Without a solution, millions of children will continue to be abused and raped around the world. This is a major problem that requires society's full attention and dedication so it can be completely abolished from the world.